So I just want to talk about why you might be missing out on these 4 free features if you're not editing with Davinci Resolve in 2025 going into 2026. Now, I've been editing with Davinci Resolve for the last 4 to 5 years, and it just seems like the team at Blackmagic have content creators and video editors in mind. And it just seems like the video editing software keeps on getting better and better. So I just want to talk about it and why, if you're a beginner, it probably might benefit you using Davinci Resolve. And I also want to mention why feature number 4 is probably my favorite feature, because it's saved me a lot of time and improved my consistency with my YouTube channel. So let's get into it. So for feature number 1, I want to talk about the blur and glow effects within Davinci Resolve. I just want to say these are probably my go-to effects, and as far as like the circular blur, I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed some of the videos that I shot with the DJI Osmo Nano. They do have a little bit of depth that's going on there, especially if you're shooting on some of these action cameras or like a camera like the DJI Osmo Nano or your cell phone. The sensor is just not big enough for you to get that shallow depth of field that you get with like a mirrorless camera. So using a blur features and like circular blur for me, which is my go-to, is a way I can get a little bit of that depth going and also give a little bit of that vintage lens look. And as far as the glow feature, this is a feature that I like to use because it gives me the option to add bloom, a little bit of glow without actually using like a filter or like a bloom filter on my camera. I'd rather just kind of handle this type of effect in post, because not every scene would look good with glow. I got my Davinci Resolve ready to go here, so let's get into it. When you go to effects, these are my nodes, and if you go into my nodes here, all you have to do is search the effect. Let's start off with blur. You can type in blur, and then you see there are different like options for blur. I'll name this node here blur, and then I'll name this node here glow. The cool thing about Davinci Resolve, you can just drag and drop the blur, and then as you can see here, let me expand this. You can see there is like this blur. Now, of course, that's a little too strong, but for me, I think everything when it comes to like editing for me is just subtle. It's like something where it's noticeable, but it's barely noticeable. Let's see here. I got it at 388. Yeah, that might be even too much if I'm looking at it here. Let me make it full screen. Yeah, so that's a little too much. So usually I dial it down to like about 250, 240. And then if you do that, you're gonna have a little bit of that circular blur on the edges, you know, and it's very subtle, and it just kind of like makes it look like you're shooting on a vintage lens. Circular blur is my go-to. There are other blur features as well that you could add on, but for me, circular blur gives me that look of like a vintage lens, right? So I'm gonna shut that off. Okay, I'm gonna switch to glow now. So same thing, we're gonna search up glow, and glow is pretty easy. You just drop it on there, and you notice that there's a little bit of like blooming on the lights back over there. So if I expand it, you can see that the light is kind of like, has a little bit of a bloom feature. And then if you take it off, you notice that that light is not blooming right there. So let's see here, let's turn it on. So there's a bunch of things you can do. You can increase the spread, that way it looks a little bit more natural than like focused. And you can also increase the threshold. So the threshold is just like the intensity of that light back over there, and you can see it kind of spreading. It also lightens up your image a little bit. So usually what I like to do is I can combine like the blur, and then it would look like you're shooting on a vintage lens on film. So yeah, so these are my go-to features, and usually whenever I pair glow up with circular blur, I think it just gives a nice little effect. Let me go back to blur, and then we're gonna use circular blur. So for me, when I have these two features together, I just get one of those images that definitely looks a little bit like whimsical, I guess is the word. But yeah, these two features together definitely are my go-to, and like I said, these are free features. Feature number 2 is gonna be repurposing your long form content, like your long form video, for vertical short videos. So the cool thing about Davinci Resolve is now it has a vertical orientation. Looking into Davinci Resolve right now, there's a feature where all you have to do is click on your settings here, and then you just click on vertical resolution, and you hit save. And that's gonna automatically change your perspective just with one click. You don't have to punch in any number. numbers. If you're shooting 1920 by 1080, it's just gonna flip the perspective for your vertical content. The thing that makes this brilliant with the update is, let's say you're trying to repurpose a video for YouTube and you're trying to make a YouTube short. So the thing I like is, let me open up my most recent video here. So with this one, right, as you can see here, everything is kind of like, I have all my text in the timeline. So there's a cool thing that Davinci Resolve just automatically does that I like. And like basically all you have to do is click vertical resolution and hit save, and bam, it's gonna change everything here. So you can see here it's changed the perspective. Now not only has it changed that vertical perspective, but it's kind of like reframed where all my texts are. So all my texts are gonna fit within that vertical perspective. So it's gonna adjust the size of the text too. So as you're seeing here, it resized my captions, and then as you can see here, it's kind of like resized my timestamps, basically my timestamps that I put in my video to show like what I'm gonna cover. So this is like something that came up with the new update, and I think that's really, really cool. This feature, especially if you're someone who's trying to do shorts and you're trying to do reels, just trying to repurpose your long form content, I think this feature is gonna save you a lot of time, and it's great. So feature number 3 is, I guess you could call it a feature, but it's just something that has made my life easier, like as far as when it comes to making thumbnails. And before that, I was doing things like the old school way, you know, screenshotting the footage, trying to take an actual picture with my camera. I was kind of, I guess, hustling backwards until I found out about this easy feature where you can just actually pull a picture actually out of like your footage. And basically the way this works is you go to your color tab here where you do all your color grading, and anywhere where you scroll, because you can grab a still basically. And this is dope for like if you're trying to, you know, get like a thumbnail. So like something like this. So anything that's within your timeline or any of the footage, you can just pull an image, like a still out of that. And then all you have to do is, I'm trying to find one that's gonna look dope. All right, perfect. This one right here. All you gotta do is go here and, you know, I hit gallery, and then I'll go here and I'll grab a still, and there you go. So that's my still right there. And all I gotta do is, and you go to export, and then you just choose where you want it to be exported, and it will export it as a JPEG. You know, then you can just say, you know, YouTube thumbie. I'll say thumbie for thumbnail, and then I'll export that, and then bam, there you go. So now I have like something I can use as a thumbnail, and then I can take it into like Photoshop or Canva, and I can add some text and stuff to it. Now, if you guys are interested in how I make my full thumbnails, just like my process from start to finish for my YouTube videos, just let me know if you're interested, and I can make a quick little video on that and show you guys how I do my thumbnails. Feature number 4 is a feature that I was willing to pay for until this update came out. And like I said, the team at Blackmagic were like, Christmas came early, save your $300 for the studio version. We're giving this out for free. And like I say, this feature has definitely saved me a lot of time. Now, this feature is auto delete pauses. So like right now I'm shooting an A roll. I might have a couple pauses here. I might have some ums. So in between those pauses, you can actually delete those silent parts with one click. And it actually just takes like less than a second to actually edit that clip. So I'll show you how to do that in Davinci Resolve, or how it's done in Davinci Resolve. Yeah, so basically, let me jump into my second timeline here, and let me unmute it, and let's see if I here unmute, and let's see here. So basically, who is this little camera for? So now, if you look at the timeline here, you can see that there's like little tiny gaps. There's like gaps here, right? So all you have to do is just select the footage that you want to delete, the auto silence spaces, and then all you have to do is go to clip, and then you're gonna go to audio operations, right? And then it's gonna repo delete. So not only does it delete the silent spots in your arrow or the footage you recorded, it repo deletes. Repo delete just means that it's gonna delete those spaces and it's gonna close the gap. So basically it condenses the clip. So all you have to do is click that, and now you can notice that all the silent gaps will be highlighted here. And let's see here, and then if you zoom out, you can see all the gaps that are highlighted. Now, the cool thing is you could actually even go in and make some adjustments, right? So it has thresholds for like how far out you want to go, so you can adjust that, you know, as far as like, I think the threshold is just kind of like how loud that audio is as far as decibels. So you can minimize the threshold, so I can put it like right there. But now you might be seeing that there's still some gaps here, some smaller gaps here that are not being highlighted or highlit, and it's just basically you can adjust the frames in between. So minimum frames to where, you know, I want to delete those frames. Right now we are at 24 frames, so what I'll do is I'll decrease that. I'll just keep on decreasing it. I can actually have like silences up to like 2 frames, and as you can see now, there's like more little silent spots that have been selected, and you can do the pre-head and the post-tail. So the beginning of where the silence starts and then the ending where the silence starts. So you can actually tweak that by frames as well, like right there, 1 frame, and then if you want for post-head you can do, so there's like, there you go. And then when you're ready and you're happy with what's been selected, all you have to do is click remove, and boom. So that video has been edited down, and now if I play it, all the silences have been removed out of my A roll. So basically, who is this little camera for? It's so tiny, look at that. Just look at how tiny that thing is. That's pretty dope. And like I say, this feature is free. It used to be a paid feature, but with Davinci Resolve 20, it's now a free feature. It was a paid feature, now it's a free feature. So like I said, it's just like one of those things where like, if you're out here and you're doing it the old way, the way I used to do it is I had to like go scroll through all my footage and just delete the footage manually, and it used to actually take me a whole day to do that, especially if I was editing a video that was like roughly like around 10 to 15 minutes. It would take me all day, you know. Of course I would have to take a couple breaks, but this just in 1 second condensed everything. So like I said, super dope that Davinci Resolve 20, it's now free. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, and hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.